Hello, hello, good morning. I'm here. This is Josh Goldstein. I'm here to give you an update on the visa delay situation that's going on right now. It's there's a lot of new information that's come out, and I'm live right now, and I want to just give everyone a minute to catch up. I hope you had an amazing weekend in the United States. It was a long weekend. Monday was a holiday, but I wanted to tell you what's going on with the visa delay situation. I think, son, Amandeep, welcome from Oakland. I think that in the fall of 2020, when the presidential election was going on, there was a lot of talk about Biden versus Trump and how that would impact the situation with visa delays. At the time, all the consulates were shut down. There was no movement on the visas. And it was thought that if Biden were elected, there would be a profound change in the way consulates functioned, and that would clear up the situation with visa delays. That's what people thought. That's what I thought. There was a thinking that the pandemic, if the pandemic could be addressed, that would improve the situation with visa delays. Natasha, welcome from Jamaica. Willems, good to see you. Well, thank you for tuning in. As I was saying, the pandemic and Trump were two mitigating factors that were causing the delay situation, and that was thought to be the problem. Well, in January 2021, we have a new president. Biden took over. We also have, in addition to having Biden, we also have really effective vaccines, at least in the United States. They've been widely distributed. And probably all of the staff at consulates across the world, at U.S. consulates, have access to these vaccines. So right now, today is June 1st, 2021. We have Trump is no more. We have Biden, and the pandemic is certainly not over, but we can be sure that all of the staff at the State Department have access to the vaccine at this point. So that would seem to address a lot of the problems related to the visa delay situation. But if you actually look at what's happening right now, I don't think we are too much better shape than we were a year ago. Consulates are not routinely processing visas. People, especially K-1 visa applicants, are just stuck, and nothing seems to be moving. It's a very, very frustrating situation, and that is what I've devoted my work to. I'm filing lawsuits to challenge visa delays, and we're fighting to get these visas approved, and we're challenging the bureaucratic incompetence that's going on at the State Department and at embassies and consulates around the world. And we're continuing that work. I was hoping not to be doing this when I was working on this a year ago. I was hoping that by 2021 I would be doing something else with my time, but I'm not. I'm working hard to help people whose visas are delayed. This is still going on. It's a very sad situation. And I think for people out there whose visas are delayed, I think you have to ask yourself this fundamental question. Do you want to keep waiting, or do you want to file a lawsuit to take action? I'm a big fan of lawsuits. This is what I do. This is how I get cases resolved. But sometimes I talk to people and they think, oh, well, I'm just going to keep waiting and see what happens. Well, there's only one reason, in my opinion, to keep waiting and not file a lawsuit. And that is if you believe that your case is going to get approved. If you think you can get approved by waiting, then you should definitely wait. But if you don't, if your case is not going to be approved and you're just waiting around for the hell of it, then I think you're making a mistake. A lot of people who I talk to in the fall of 2020 didn't hire me because they were trying to wait it out. They thought, well, I'll just keep waiting. I'll see what happens. I'll just keep waiting. I'm going to give it another month. I'm going to give it another 2 months. I'm going to give it another 3 months. I'm going to give it another 6 months. I'm going to wait till Biden gets in. And they're still stuck. So it's a very frustrating situation. And I would encourage anyone who is delayed to consider filing a lawsuit to get it resolved. Now, one thing I want to point out to you is that I have a webinar on how to get a delayed visa approved. And that webinar is going to be on this Friday, June 4th at 11 o'clock Pacific time. It's a free webinar. I'm going to put a link in the notes below to show you how you can register for that. It's going to be, we're going to review in detail the situation with visa delays and what you need to do and what you need to know. And I've got a lot of new information about that. So it's a frustrating situation for everyone. And, you know, I don't see a fundamental change. I don't know what's going to change. I don't know how many more lawsuits we're going to have to file before something will change. So with that cheery note, I'm going to take some more questions. And Willems has a great question. How long do you wait before you file a lawsuit? That's a great question. You don't want to wait too long, but you want to file it as soon as you can, but not too soon. So the question is, when is that? Well, it depends on what type of visa you have. If it's a fiance visa, I would wait until the petition, the I-129F, the initial petition, until that has been pending for 1 year. If it's an I-130 or I-730, I would wait until that petition has been pending for 1 year. On the other hand, if the case is for a non-immigrant visa, an F1 visa, an F2 visa, a H-2B visa, H-1B visa, I would wait about 5 or 6 months. Does that answer your question? Senia says, hey, Josh, your thoughts on Russian embassy closures. I was able to transfer my mother's IR5 petition to Warsaw Embassy, but Poland is closed to tourists. We are stuck either way. Oh, what a mess. What a mess that is. So the embassies in Russia, from what I understand, are closed. And what I mean by closed is that there is no staff in those consulates. They cannot process the paperwork. It is absolutely closed. So I think you did a very good thing by transferring your case to the consulate in Poland, but Poland is closed to tourists. So I don't really have a solution for you, Senia, except to express my sympathy for your situation with your mother. Would it be possible to transfer it to another consulate? Why? I don't know anything about Poland, but why is Poland closed to tourists? Is that because of the COVID? Maybe they'll change those rules. It's a mess. We had the same situation for the consulate in Abu Dhabi, which would not let in Iranians. I think that's changed. So I advise people to send their cases to Turkey, and we got cases approved that way. But that's a very good question, a very tough question. Hello to my friend from Lagos. I hope you're doing amazing. Richard in Columbus, Ohio. My family's from Ohio. Hope you're doing well. We have Deanie, our Somalian friend from Germany. She's thanking me. He's thanking me for the videos. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. What questions do you have? What's on your mind? How's everyone doing? I hope you're well. I hope your family's well. I hope you're doing amazing. Let me check in and see what other good questions we have. Natasha's coming to us from Jamaica. I went on my honeymoon to Jamaica, to Negril, and I loved it. I have a deep affection for Jamaica. I'm on Deep from Oakland. Thank you for tuning in. Here's a question. Afghanistan, Haider. Good afternoon from Afghanistan. Any update from the U.S. Embassy in Kabul IR1 case DQ documentarily qualified on August 2020? Thank you. Haider, I've been able to get cases approved in Kabul. I would say most of my clients, or a good portion of them, are from Afghanistan. And I don't have to remind you, the situation in Afghanistan right now is extremely precarious. It's a dangerous time. We need, if anyone out there is listening and has a visa that's delayed in Afghanistan or at the consulate in Kabul, I really hope you reach out to me and contact me, because we've had great success getting those cases approved. And it's better to take action sooner rather than later, because there is there's no use waiting for these cases. Let's see what other questions. My friend Richard is unemployed but enjoying the sunshine. Well, if it's not one thing, it's another thing. I'm glad that you are enjoying the sunshine at least. Facebook user, how about Pakistan cases and visa delay? We've had great success for cases in Islamabad. I'd say Afghanistan, well, really Pakistan, India, Afghanistan, and Sudan have been some of the cases that we filed the most recently. But yeah, we've had great success with those consulates. More from Senia about the Russian transfer. I sent a transfer request to many embassies, and Warsaw was the only one that accepted non-residents. There's no easy fix for that. There's no easy fix for that. I guess I don't really know. I mean, obviously, I don't practice law in Poland. I don't know anything about the visa situation for Poland. Liberia. What about Liberia? I have tremendous sympathy for Liberian people, for all people really, but Liberia is such a poor country, and when people apply for visas, the consulate treats people like dirt. They don't promptly or professionally follow up with them, and we've gotten great results for people in Monrovia who've had visas that have been delayed. Families that we brought families together. I've put some testimonial videos on my YouTube channel. I'm really proud of the work that I do to help Liberians. So yeah, we've done really well. Stacy says, is the USA Visa Embassy open in Nassau, Bahamas? I don't know specifically, but what most of the consulates say is they say they're not open for routine processing. They're only processing cases on an emergency basis. So what that leads people to believe is that the consulate is closed. And if you look at the statistics, they publish statistics each month, and they explain what cases they're issuing and how many cases in each category that they're issuing from each consular post. And you can see that most embassies are not closed, not strictly closed. So I would encourage you to pursue your case. Leslie, what about Haiti? The big news from Haiti in terms of immigration is that the Biden administration, I guess it was a little over a week ago, they granted temporary protective status, TPS, for Haitians in the United States. I have a video coming out about how you can apply and what you need to know, but that's the big news that I see from Haiti right now. Armando, Meticulous Auto Detailing LLC, aka Rocky. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. I had a great weekend with my family. Thank you for asking. A lot of daddy time with the kids, and you know, Memorial Day is kind of the marking of the beginning of summer, psychologically, at least for me. And yeah, I mean, it feels good. It feels like things are opening back up. I had some family in from out of town, and I visited with them, and it felt kind of normal. So I think I'm very optimistic about life and about the pandemic following away. If you need a work from home paralegal, just let me know. Richard, we're going to have to put you on the payroll. You may not be out in the sunshine too much. What about Jamaicans with TPS? Well, what about it? What question do you have about that? How can I help? How can I help? Let me know. What would happen if a mandamus case had been dismissed? Well, a mandamus case that's dismissed doesn't directly impact the issuance of the visa. So that's one thing to know. But I guess I'd have to know why was the case dismissed? What happened? Here we have AMC Nami 4, our friend on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to try to answer your questions. I've been waiting to hear about citizenship. I send a request for evidence. I passed my citizenship test. My application has been pending since November 19th. I need advice on the next move. You should contact me and consider filing a lawsuit, because in my videos, I talk about filing lawsuits to help people whose visas are delayed. But I haven't made very many videos or any videos on what you can do to help get your delayed naturalization approved. But we have filed plenty of lawsuits to help people whose naturalization applications are delayed. And that delay can happen before the interview or after the interview. If it happens after the interview, USCIS has a mandatory deadline of 120 days to make a final decision on your application for naturalization, your N-400, after the interview. If they don't make a decision within that time period, you have a specific statutory right to go into a district court and file a lawsuit to get that approved. And that's what we do in a lot of cases. So that's something you can do. Now, sometimes what USCIS does is they delay the interview. So there are people out there who haven't gotten interviews, and that's another option. So Stacy's has come back and asked us, can a Jamaican file for TPS if they're in the United States? I don't believe that there is TPS for Jamaica. If I were president, I would grant Jamaicans TPS, but I'm not president, and nor will I ever be president. So they won't let me do it. Let's see here. Does the U.S. give visas to Guyanese? Yeah, you can get a visa. Here's Jack, our friend on YouTube. Let's see what we can do. I've been waiting on an interview for almost a year now, and I'm 20. What if I turn 21? Can I still go? Because I've gotten to get everything approved before I'm 21. I'm just waiting on the interview. Well, Jack, obviously I don't know anything at all about your immigration case. So it's hard for me to give you specific advice on that. But let me just mention a few things. First of all, when you turn 21 years old, generally you can no longer, and there's some exceptions to this, but you can no longer be a derivative on an immigration application. So for example, if your uncle applied for your mother and you're a derivative on your mother's application, once you turn 21, subject to certain exceptions, you can no longer remain as a derivative. So that 21-year-old birthday could be very, very important. Our friend on YouTube did the interview. So if you did your naturalization interview and 120 days has passed, then you can file a lawsuit in federal court and you can force USCIS to move forward and approve your naturalization application. I would love to help you with this. I love helping people get approved for citizenship. I love fighting delays. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let me know. I'd love to learn more. Here's a Facebook user. Great question. Hey, Josh, my wife had an immigrant visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Turkey on April 9th, 2021. The officer placed her case in AP administrative processing and told her to submit the DS 5535. We submitted the form the same day. Please advise. Well, first of all, I think it's horrible that your wife is stuck. I'm sorry that your wife is stuck, but you did the right thing by reaching out to me because we know exactly how to get these cases approved. And we do it by filing lawsuits. We sue consulates. We sue the consulate in Ankara. We sue them all the time, and we force them to make a decision. What's going on? Why have they not made a decision? You and your wife deserve a decision within a reasonable period of time. And if you filed your I-130 more than a year ago, then I don't think it should take them any longer than 1 year to make a decision. That's not right. It's not fair. And I hope you contact us to consider the lawsuit because that's crazy. We need to get your wife here, and so she can be with you, and you can be done with this nonsense. That's what I believe. What other questions do you have? There's some good questions here today. Let me know, folks. Let me know. I want everyone to know that we have a Facebook group on visa delays, and a lot of people are tuning in on Facebook as well. And in that group, I give out special information that I don't share anywhere else, and I answer people's questions, specific questions about visa delays. And it's a very active group. We have almost 5,500 people in that group. And I also give away, I wrote a book on how to get a how to get a delayed visa approved. And I give that you can get that book for free. It's an ebook, and I give that away. If anyone's interested, I'll put my email on here. You can email me and I'll send you a link. Actually, let me just, I will put a link here, book an appointment, where you can get it. Here is a link to where you can get this link right here is where you can get my book on how to get a visa delay, how to get a delayed visa approved. If you go to that link, you can get a free book from me that gives you all the information you need to understand why your visa has been delayed and what you can do about it. There's a cute picture of me with my boy who's now 6 years old, and he's looking very cute there. Here it is on YouTube. Here's a Facebook user with the questions. They do the same with me since 2018. I need advice year after year. If they don't issue your case, file mandamus. Yes, do it. Here's a question on YouTube. Tabarak Abbas, thank you for your question. Hello, Josh. Hello, my friend. My case is currently at the NVC. Our case is supposed to be in Ankara, Turkey. They're processing K1 for Turkish and non-Turkish resident. My fiance is a resident of Turkey, but it's stuck at the NVC. So that's a great point. They're telling me that the embassy is not processing K1s. What should you do? All right. Thank you for your question. This is a great question. There's a lot to unpack. So first of all, if the consulate, if the NVC is telling you that the embassy in Ankara is not processing K1 visas, that's just simply untrue. That is not true. That is false information. And I know it's false because if you look at the State Department's website, they publish monthly statistics showing how many visas they issue at each consular post in each class. And I'm certain that if you looked on that, you would see each month they're issuing K1 visas. Maybe they're not issuing a lot of K1 visas, but they're issuing some visas, some K1 visas. And if they're not issuing K1 visas, they're probably issuing other visas. So if they're issuing other visas, well, then why can't they issue a K1 visa? So it's not true. The solution to this problem is to file a lawsuit against them, to sue, to challenge the delay. And this is the work that we do. So I encourage you to reach out and contact us, and we can help you fight this delay. Because where does it end? They're just going to keep waiting forever and ever and ever, and they're not going to process these visas. You have to fight them. Razaz, our friend from Sudan, F2A case complete August 2020. Is there any chance to get the visa before 2022? The same answer as before. You have to consider a lawsuit. If you're not willing to sue, if you don't want to sue, if you just want to keep waiting and waiting and waiting, then you're not going to get anywhere. So I've had great success in Khartoum with visa delays. In Razaz, I hope you contact me as well. Here's a Facebook user, Josh. The U.S. attorney wants to dismiss my lawsuit. They said the wait is unreasonable, but I filed in November 19th, in November of 2019, the I-130. I thought I waited long enough. Well, listen, we get a lot of motions to dismiss, and we fight back against them. And we've never, to this date, we've never lost a motion to dismiss yet. So, you know, nobody's going to give you these visas just because you applied. That's the way it should work. You have a legal right to a visa, and if you file it, they should give it to you. But you have to file the lawsuit. You have to challenge them. And if they file a motion to dismiss, you need to reply to the motion to dismiss, and you need to fight back. And that's what I do in my cases. What do you think, Josh, about the Ankara embassy? I heard it's racist. I don't have any specific information about the Ankara embassy being racist. What I do find to be bigoted or unreasonable is that I devoted my career to visa delays, to fighting visa delays. And my clients, the people who have visa delays, tend to be from Muslim countries or Muslims. And I think part of the delay situation has to do with anti-Muslim bigotry. Now, that's not always the case. We have plenty of people whose visas are delayed that are in Taiwan or the Caribbean or Latin America. It has nothing to do with your national religion. I think that's something. So I just wanted to share with you here. We have Moss Martin asks which visa delay Facebook group. So I want to put this on here. This is where you can get into this is free, by the way. It's a Facebook group that I am the administrator for. And it's a Facebook group that focuses on visa delays. And people ask questions about visa delays, and I answer them sometimes, and other members will provide answers. We share information, and I share basically my insights into visa delay situations. So I encourage everyone to come into that group and join us. It's free, and it's a great resource. Jack, our friend on YouTube, what a lovely picture you have. Is Congress going to sign Biden's immigration order? Do you think it will be soon, or it's going to take too long? So in order to pass a law in Congress, well, first of all, I strongly support Biden's efforts to improve our immigration system, and I think it would be a much needed change. And some of the ideas are really exciting, And I'm a fan of these ideas and this proposal. But when it says here, is Congress going to sign Biden's immigration bill or order? Do you think it'll be soon or it's going to take too long? In order for because we have a filibuster in the Senate, in order for any law to pass, it has to get 60 votes. And I don't think there are 60 votes available to support a immigration bill of any sort. So I don't think there'll be any improvement in that situation. Ruby, it's great to hear from you. I'm doing great. I hope you're well. I hope you're doing great as well. Let's see here. Biden does not want to solve the immigration issue. Look at the mess at the border. Well, we have somebody here who is not a fan of Biden, doesn't think much of their immigration plan. Well, Biden became president. There were plenty of people on the border. Why were they on the border? Well, they were on the border because the Trump administration created an illegal program called MPP that was designed to prevent asylum seekers from seeking asylum in the United States. So I think the situation at the border was created in part by the Trump administration. Greetings from the Netherlands. I like that. Hello, Mr. Joshua. We did the interview but didn't get the visa, F3, due to COVID ban. My son will be 21 in September. What to do so don't reach the U.S. before September? You need to act quickly. Reach out to me and consider doing a lawsuit. You don't have time to waste. Every day is precious. And once your son turns 21, he can no longer be a derivative on the case. So then if you get the visa approved, you'll have a situation where your son has no visa and your family has a visa and they're obligated to go to the U.S. and it would be a real mess. So that's what I have to say. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I'll be back with more information very, very soon. Take care and have a fantastic day.